Hello, Steve White, Steve Art 79. Well, this really shocked me. Scarlett Johansson is suing Disney for breach of contract. She's suing the mouse. No one sues the mouse. The mouse, people have been scared of the mouse for decades in Hollywood because the mouse is known to crush anyone who comes up against them. But she must have learnt something from her superhero character because she's taking them on. She could have just laid down like a bitch and taken it, but no, she's fighting Disney. So this is amazing. Basically, Scarlett Johansson had a back-end deal where she was going to be getting a percentage of the box office, and it was exclusively stated in her contract that Black Widow would be released exclusively to theatres. But instead of doing that, they released it to Disney Plus as well. So most people, after the first weekend, all the big fans went the first weekend, made like $80 million, but it had an 80% drop-off because everyone else just stayed home and watched on Disney Plus. So basically, allegedly, in my opinion and others, what Disney is doing is, because they have to pay a percentage to the theatres and they have to pay a percentage to the actors when they have contracts like this, what they did was they put it into the streaming service, knowing people watch it there. They get the money from the streaming, they get the subscriptions, but they wouldn't get cash in the box office, so they wouldn't have to pay their money out to the theatres, because usually the first week or weekend the studios basically get all the money, and then after that it's split 50 or 50-50 or 30-70, stuff like that, depending on the contracts and the films and the companies and the studios and all that. So the theatres make more money if the film has a long life, like after the first week, whereas the studios make all their money out of the first couple of weeks. So that's why all the publicity is about basically everyone just wide release, go see the film now, so they can get a big opening, get all the money then, and then it doesn't matter so much what the film makes afterwards. They don't care about that because they're losing half or 2/3 of that money anyway. So they found a way to just put it straight into a service they're paid for, and people can just go watch it there and not go to the theatres, and they're cutting out the theatres and they're getting out of the contracts they've made with actors who they're already established before COVID, and they're blaming it all on COVID, and it's just really low. Now, what a lawyer said was, it's no secret that Disney has been releasing films like Black Widow onto Disney Plus to increase subscribers and thereby boost the company's stock price, and that it's hiding behind COVID-19 as a pretext to do so. By ignoring the contracts of the artists responsible for the success of these films, in furtherance of this short-sighted strategy, violates their rights, and we look forward to proving as much in court. This will surely not be the last case where Hollywood talent stands up to Disney and makes it clear that whatever the company may pretend, it has a legal obligation to honour its contracts. And I can't believe they even tried to do this. Like, contracts are contracts. They are black and white. There is contract law. You just can't get around it. You can't say one thing in a contract and then do another thing because it just doesn't suit you. Oh, the terms of contract, your side of the contract doesn't suit us anymore. We're just going to do what we want because it serves us. They've been doing that, allegedly, for a while. When they bought up a bunch of IPs like Star Wars and that, they just considered that, well, we bought the IPs, we didn't buy the obligations of the contracts, so they didn't pay people out for their royalties and their residuals. So people like Alan Dean Foster, they weren't getting paid anymore for the books that they wrote for Disney that were still, being sold and everything. Now those people, they couldn't do much because they weren't big stars like Scarlett Johansson. They made a bit of noise, but they couldn't really achieve much. But Scarlett Johansson, she's got money, she can afford big lawyers, she's popular, she's successful, people know who she is. This is news. When it happened to Alan Dean Foster, it wasn't huge news, but everyone knows about this. So I hope she wins. I think she absolutely deserves it. Now, of course, the studio said there is no merit whatsoever to this filing. The lawsuit is especially sad and distressing in its callous disregard for the horrific and prolonged global effects of COVID-19. Disney has fully complied with Mrs. Johansson's contract, and furthermore, the release of Black Widow on Disney Plus with Premier Access has significantly enhanced her ability to earn additional compensation on top of the $20 million she's received to date. So they're trying to make her look bad by pointing out she's actually made $20 million when she should have made $70 to $100 million. So she has every right to sue them. They didn't do what they were supposed to do. And the most disgusting thing is the Fandom Menace guys, the Geeks and Gamers guys, are saying this is about her being a woman. She's using the fact she's a woman and acting like they did this to her because she's a female. It's unfathomable that they could make this about sex and try and make it like, it's just unbelievable. This has nothing to do with sex. It's to do with the fact that they broke the contract, and this is an important case for everyone who in Hollywood who ever has a contract with a studio. If they don't make them adhere to this, they are just going to set a precedent. They can just do whatever they want and ignore contracts, and no one will be getting residuals. No one will be having their end kept up, because why? We got away with it. They're just going to keep doing it. So I'm just really shocked, like I said, and I hope she wins. It's going to be huge, because it just has such big, like, shockwave consequences for studios and that. And yeah, I'm just impressed that she did this. But it's really sad too, because I mean, she should have. I mean, if they just released it in the cinemas like they were supposed to, because everyone just, the first weekend it did really well. It got like 80 million. I hope I didn't say this already, but it had an 80% drop off because everyone just stayed at home and watched it Disney Plus. So yeah, and they knew that. That was allegedly, in my belief, they knew that, and that's why they did this. But I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe.